Well, today was the Hahn Super Dry second day of the Santos Tour Down Under. It wasn't a long stage, 116.5 kilometres, but Paul, it turned out to be very decisive today.
Because it was a shorter stage, it started very aggressively, and very early on a four-man breakaway got to the front and built up an advantage of around about 2 minutes over the main field. But the main field were not letting anybody get away.
Yes, so by the time we got down to Achunga, it was the four-man breakaway sharing the prizes. Will Clark was the man taking it out, chased over by Calvin Watson, and then William Bonifond and Chris Yule Jensen. Now, they were the guys in the lead for much of the day, but they never got far ahead. The peloton were always organised, and when they wanted to, they were ready to reel them in. They still cleared the breakaway when they got down to Woodbank, and that was the last sprint of the day. But then after that, the big challenge of the day was Corkscrew Hill. They raced to that hill like it was the finishing sprint of the day.
Charged down Cuddly Creek and lined themselves out in a very long line at speeds approaching 60 kilometres an hour for the battle for the corner to get into the start of the climb. And once they got to the corner and the climb started in earnest, we were expecting names like Simon Gerrans, names like Philippe Gilbert to come to the front. But it wasn't. It was a man from Wales.
No, well, the rumours were started after the race finished that Simon Gerrans was not feeling very well at all, and they thought he might have contracted a virus. That would explain the fact he wasn't there. Once onto the climb, it was the black jersey of George Bennett from New Zealand, who's just coming off a silver medal in the National New Zealand Championships, who was clear. He stomped on those pedals. He looked good for a while, but then up from the back came the black and blue jersey of Geraint Thomas. He caught up with Bennett. Bennett hung on for a little while, but you know, he couldn't hang on for too long, and then he was free to fly to the top of the hill.
When he was caught by three riders on the descent field, I thought it was all over, but the four riders at the front survived into the finishing straight.
Yeah, and that is a long straight. It's 7 kilometres from the top down, and once they came into the 2 kilometre finishing straight, then it had to be a little bit cagey. And so the man in black, Thomas, went behind the three escapers, ignored a chase by 11 riders behind, waited and gambled, and then launched the sprint that gave him the race and indeed the next ochre jersey. He leads now by 5 seconds and 14 seconds over the field.